What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Trail Hunter and another installment of my autobiography series. You might be thinking to yourself, I've seen something like this on this truck before, and you would be correct, but it was an awful video with terrible audio and just really poor presenting. It was a very early video for me. Don't judge, okay? I'm much cooler now, and I'm way more fun, I think. I've just gotten better at talking to myself. There's nobody around. So today, with all my newfound YouTube experience, we're gonna talk about Summer again. Now Summer, she didn't always look like this. She is very developed. She didn't always look like this. This thing started its life as an SR5. Okay, she had 27-inch tires. They weren't even 27s, they were like 215 and 70-15 or something like that. Ridiculously small. It was like a station wagon or something. Here's a photo of the day that I bought the truck. I actually brought it here to the beach. So here's what she looked like on day one. And here's what she looks like now. Crazy transformation. It's come a long way. There's been a lot of trial and error. And this isn't even the final form. There's still a couple of things that I need to do to this thing to get it to the point where it's done. Let's be honest, are they ever really done? She started her life as an SR5, which is like the base model for a Toyota 4Runner. But she didn't stay that way for long. I immediately, almost immediately, ordered a 2.5-inch lift kit. It was just a coil spring spacer kit. Not the right way to do it, but definitely started this whole thing. It was a good start. It was the bug that bit me, the mod bug, and it was great. It was great in the snow. It was great on the beach on 31-inch tires, but I always kind of wanted a little bit more. She never did actually go fully off-roading on the 31s, just kind of backwoods type stuff here on Long Island, but it was very apparent very early that 31s and a spacer lift weren't going to cut it for like real off-roading. So, no, this was not. There was a step in the middle there. This came much later in this story. So around 2010, I had ordered an old man Emu suspension lift, proper struts and springs for Summer, and 33-inch BF Goodrich mud terrain, which were some of my favorite tires that I've ever used, the KM2s. The 33s and the suspension lift worked amazing for me. We kept it in that configuration for quite a while. Many trips to Roush Creek Off-Road Park in Pennsylvania, many trips into the backwoods and on the beach. It performed honestly outstanding in that trim, but it was getting to the point where everything was wearing out. The control arm bushings, the ball joints, the steering rack, everything was starting to wear out from years and years of trail abuse. I was at a fork in the road. Do I replace everything? My first thought was going with a long travel kit from like Total Chaos. Do I do something like that? Or do I bulletproof the truck entirely, go full solid axle in the front? That was my thought, bulletproof the truck. You guys know something a little bit different happened. So if you're watching this now, you already kind of know the next part of the story. We went solid axle, and we did it the entirely wrong way. I did things kind of the full-blown correct way in one area and totally botched it in another area. And if you guys have seen the video from when we did the shakedown run, I'll link it right here. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The trunnion bearing shit the bed. We are back in business. We actually think that the bolts for the upper high steer arm sheared off. So the Facebook status that I posted about midway through the shakedown run went a little something like this. The good news is the truck performed flawlessly for the first half of the day. The bad news is that the truck performed flawlessly for the first half of the day. Anybody who watched that video will know we blew the front trunnion bearing apart not once, but twice. And I ended up having to leave the truck there. But that is kind of where the truck sits right now. As you can see, she's got kind of a leaky axle seal there, but it's fine. This is all getting replaced. That's gonna be in a future video. This is definitely going to change. I got a few plans for this thing in the near future, but let's take a look at what we've got so far. We will start with the exterior. You can see the body of the truck is not an SR5. These are from a sport model. This is one of the first body mods that I've done. So sport flares, this one, because it was an SR5, it doesn't have the holes. So this is actually glued onto the truck, and it's glued on with nothing other than Toyota fippage. If you don't work at Toyota, let me explain to you what fippage is. It is basically RTV sealant, gasket maker. They use it on oil pan gaskets and timing covers and things like that. It's also kind of known to be the strongest material known to man. It's like if Chuck Norris was an RTV, you'd get fippage. So that has been holding on these fender flares since 2010, 2009, something like that. So that's the story on the fender flares. We'll keep it moving. This is one of the newer additions to the truck. That's one of your guys' favorite videos. This is the True North Fabrications rear bumper with the tire carrier. You guys love this video. Is one of the better videos on this channel right now. One of the videos keeping this channel alive. But you guys love this bumper. So this is the True North Fabrications or SRQ bumper. Now this is a total mishmash of, it's a whole mess. Starting up here, we have the sport hood. Love that hood scoop. It is non-functional, but it just makes the look of the truck. A couple of CBI brackets, 2x2 lights. We got the roof rack up there that I made out of electrical conduit, which isn't super sturdy, but it works. Now this is a TJM bumper. Here's the thing with this bumper. This is for a second gen 4Runner. I bought it online, kind of sight unseen, and I had no idea it was for a second gen. I just bought it. The width is fine, but the width of the mounts, you can see some spacers in there because the frame rails on a second gen are much more narrow. So back there's a Smitty built winch, XRC8 with a roller fair lead, you know, because it's got to stay period correct. Harbor Freight light bar. There's the controller. I notched out the grill for this controller to kind of mount it. It's mounted to the bumper there. I like it. Different headlights. They're just kind of like blacked out inside. They're all kind of fucky. It's fine. It's from running into trees and stuff. These are rock sliders from Savage Off-Road. I don't even know if this company's still in business, but they were really great. I love the kickouts on the back. They're welded on units. Don't mind the rust. It's a beach truck. And that's kind of it for the exterior. So before we get to the suspension and all that custom stuff, let's take a look at these wheels and tires, because I really love these wheels. It's one of my favorite parts of the truck. They're a Koenig counter steer. I mean, it just kind of works, doesn't it? Counter steer X or 10. I'm not sure how you're supposed to say it. Koenig, if you're there, can you comment? Let me know. Counter steer X wheels. These are Goodyear Wrangler MTR tires. I do not like them, but they're there. We're gonna go Toyos soon, I think. I like the open country mud terrains. These are just, they're great. They do well on rock and things like that, but on the sand, they're terrible. On the snow, they're terrible. And that's kind of like the two main reasons I use this truck. But I love these wheels. They look great. The powder coated gray with the Millennium Silver metallic. It's just a great color combination. And they have like that kind of like JDM look. You know, the truck space and the aftermarket truck wheel category is very American Brodozer style. So finding like a JDM looking wheel for my JDM truck was key to making her look exactly the way I wanted it to. Here's a look at the, whoa! Here's a look at the front suspension. You'll see Fox 2.5-inch coilovers with iBox springs. They're dual rate, 300 on top, 275 on the bottom. Gives it a good ride. Don't mind all the rust. It's an absolute disaster under here. The links and everything are from All Pro. It's there. They called it the Taco Supreme or Tacoma Supreme. It's a 3-link kit. It works great up here. The frame mounts were kind of like made for this truck, so they worked really well. On the axle side, it was kind of, the kit was meant for like a full width axle, and this is the part that I royally messed up. Everything else on the truck was built beautifully. I messed up on the axle selection. I'll be 100% honest. So the axle is an 85 mini truck axle. And I know you're gonna say that's a 55-inch width axle, and this truck is almost 70. Yeah, you're correct about that. That's on me. I messed that detail up. So 2 issues with that. Everything on the axle is very squished together. I don't even have space up here to put a sway bar. I've only got a rear sway bar, right? The other thing is that the width is so narrow that in order to get the tires to match the rear, I had to use these gigantic wheel spacers. Now these wheel spacers, I would attribute all of my failures on that shakedown run. I would put blame completely on me, but on the wheel spacers. What I believe was happening, I mean, my main issue was the bolts on the upper knuckle were pulling out. The reason I think that was happening is there's a lot of leverage pulling out on this tire. Every time it hits a bump, it's pulling this way, and it's pulling right against here. Now this has a hydraulic ram on it. It's got the hydro assist. If you missed that video, click right over here. I'll put that link. But the hydraulic ram doesn't allow it to pull. So there's a ton of forces pulling this wheel out, and there's a ton of forces holding this exactly where it is, and right in the middle is that trunnion bearing. So I think that the giant wheel spacers are the main reason we had issues on that shakedown run. But that's getting corrected. We're getting a full width axle from Trail Gear soon. Not really soon because it's winter still, but soon. In the rear, like I said, it's very basic. We have OME springs. I want to say they're OME 882s. They're front lift springs from a Land Cruiser. For whatever reason, they fit perfectly in the back of a 4Runner. Last year we blew out some shocks at Roush Creek, so we got brand new Bilsteins in there. Other than that, it's pretty factory. It has the factory e-locker in it, but the e-locker motor went bad, so it's manual now. Really, I just gotta crawl under there, flip the lever. That's pretty much it. You can see the exhaust that I made. If you missed that video, that was a good one. Click right over here, I'll put that. The only other part of the exhaust we didn't talk about was the Doug Thorley headers. Now that is another video that you guys are absolutely in love with. It's cooking. It's got 12,000 views or something. There was a lot of self-reflection, but that's a good watch. If you missed that one, click right here. But these are what they look like after about a year of beach use. They're a little rusty, but they've held up. That's it on the builds breakdown of summer. If you've got any questions, if there was a detail that I missed, something that you're like, hey, what's that? Just leave a comment. I respond to every comment. So leave a comment, let me know if there's something I missed, if there's something you want to know about. Ask. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Right here, ready to answer your questions. Go ahead. Waiting. So that's it on today's video. Now, if you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button, because we're doing a lot of 4Runner stuff, we're doing a lot of race car stuff, we're doing a lot of motorcycle stuff, we're doing a lot of stuff. You're not gonna wanna miss it. So hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and if you like, check out that 4x4. This is from a company called BlipShift. You truck guys might not know BlipShift too well, but blipshift.com, use coupon code APEXHUNTER for 20% off your first order. They got truck stuff too, so hit them up, take a look. That's it for today. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next Taco Tuesday.